Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In March, the United States recognized 10 women who were risking their lives to bring about justice in their countries. These women were honored in the United States as the 2012 International Women of Courage and visited Congress to share their stories and give a voice to the people of their countries who have nowhere else to turn. I had the privilege of meeting with each of these women and listening to their stories and learn more about their fight to end human rights abuses and to make the world a better place. I was impressed with their strength, their courage, and want to share some of their stories with you here today so that we can continue to speak up for those who have no voice. Maryam Durrani is from Afghanistan. At age 27, she is the director of a women's association for culture and speaks out for the rights of women and girls in Kandahar province. Her life has been threatened numerous times, and yet she continues to fight for women in Afghanistan and has started the only female-focused radio station in the nation. She received the International Women of Courage Award for striving to give a voice to women through the power of media, government, and civil society. Priscila del Oliveira Azevedo is from Brazil. She's 34 and serves as the General Coordinator for Strategic Programs for the Rio de Janeiro State Secretariat of Public Security. She's one of the most senior officers in the police pacification units in her country and has worked to end drug dealing operations in Brazil. She arrested a gang of criminals who had once kidnapped her and is working with the state and local governments to improve conditions throughout Brazil. She received this award for integrating previously marginalized populations into the larger Rio de Janeiro community. Zinmar Aung from Burma, at age 36, is a democratic activist who was a former political prisoner and was held for 11 years because of her efforts to promote democracy, women's empowerment, and conflict resolution in Burma. She received this award for championing democracy, strengthening civil society, and empowering individuals to contribute meaningfully to the political transformation of Burma. Janeth Beoa Lima is from Colombia and at age 38 is an investigative journalist. While on assignment, she was repeatedly raped and left in a dumpster. She was left in this dumpster by her attackers and told that they were sending a message to the Colombian press. Since that horrific attack, she has spoken out against sexual violence and become a role model for women in Colombia. She was given this award for her unfailing courage, determination, and perseverance, fighting for justice all around the globe. Hannah El Habisi is a 27-year-old architect from Libya who contributed to the proper documentation of the violence during the revolution in her country. She also is an advocate for women's rights in her country and received this award for courageous advancement of the cause of freedom of expression and promotion of women's rights during the time of conflict and transition in Libya. Anessa Alamed is from Maldives and founded Hope for Women. She advocates for ending gender-based violence in Maldives and has served as the Deputy Minister of Women's Affairs. She received this award for courageous advocacy of women's rights and protection of domestic violence. Shahad Begum is 33 and is from Pakistan, who is a courageous human rights activist. She provides political training, microcredit information, and more to women in her country. There have been numerous attempts to end her life, but she remains committed to advancing women's rights and even won a local office in her country. She received this award for fearlessly championing Pakistani women's political and economic rights. Samar Baldawi is from Saudi Arabia and at 31 monitors human rights in her country. She is the first woman in Saudi Arabia to file a lawsuit against the government demanding that women have a right to vote. She won this award for demonstrating significant courage in her activism while becoming a champion in the struggle for women's suffrage and legal rights in Saudi Arabia. Hawa Abdullah Mohammed Salih is from Sudan and is a human rights activist forced to flee Darfur She lived in an internally displaced persons camp and has since spoken out about human rights abuses in these very camps and has advocated for women's rights in her country. She has been persecuted by the government of Sudan and forced to flee her country and received this award for giving a voice to the women and children of Darfur. Mr. Speaker, I want to just simply say that these women act as a role model for all women across the country, across the world, and we must stand up for women's rights. And I yield back.
Time has expired. The chair recognizes